Hi, Alan Stratton from Woodturns. It's late winter, early spring, depends on exactly the weather, but it's a great time to do spring pruning. When I do that and cut off a limb big enough, I like to turn a bird's beak bowl. What is that? Well, it's a little bowl that is the entire section of the limb, in this case apple, and because it was cut before the sap started to run, the bark is fairly tight, the wood is as dry as it will ever be without being dead. So it's natural edge, bark stays put. Let's turn this little bird's beak bowl from apple.
It is spring pruning season. I cut this limb fresh from an apple tree. Since our club had had a demo on bold turning, I thought this would be a great opportunity to turn a limb bird's beak bowl. This will be a small natural edge bowl, using almost the entire cross-section of the limb rather than a half. With the wood cut in winter before sap started running, I hope the bark will remain secure. The limb section is mounted to the lathe with a 4-prong drive center and my live center. The process now is similar to a typical bowl project, except that the outer curve runs beyond the half log to the entire limb. This soft, wet wood cuts easily with my bowl gouge. Since the wood is only winter wet, I am not getting a shower from the wood. I cut a tenon with a spindle gouge and a skew, then cut another notch to establish the bottom limit to the outer curve. Then finish up the exterior profile for the bowl. I gave it a light scraping with a skew as a scraper. Now I encounter some issues with mounting the bowl to a chuck with that tenon. The tenon is too small for any of my chucks with dovetail jaws. This is complicated since the wood is very soft and crushes easily. I am worried whether this wood would stay connected to the lathe. I need insurance. Typically, I like to use the live center as long as possible. This time, I also wrapped the wood and chuck with plastic wrap with the hope that it would be enough. I started hollowing with the spindle gouge, but could not get very far with the tailstock in the way. So I had to pull back the tailstock and rely solely on the chuck and plastic wrap. I continued with the spindle gouge a little more, but could not ride the bevel very well at all. I then switched to a round nose scraper. I stopped frequently to compare the inner and outer curves and wall thickness. Whew! It survived without any trial flights. Reversing this bowl will not be a cold jaw project since it is small and does not have a regular brim. I could have propped it up, perhaps in a donut chuck. Instead, I pull out a small cup faceplate that I use for spheres and round off the edge just a little more. Then press the bowl against this faceplate using the same divot from the first turning in the live center. Again, for insurance, I wrapped this with plastic wrap. When I measured the bottom, that notch was perfect for the foot. Anything beyond this will be cut away. I go at it with a spindle gouge. The space is tight. My objective is to form the foot by cutting it gradually while also reducing the diameter of the nub between the foot and the live center. In the end, the final groove is slightly below the foot surface as it goes to a minimum diameter and then severs. I'll send the final nub later. I let this bowl dry for several days in a paper bag. Drier wood will not clog the sandpaper as much. Then minimal sanding at the drill press and then by hand. I like my small bowl. It is always a fun project to do in the very early spring. A quick bath in walnut oil brightens the wood. I had to pay particular attention to putting enough oil on the bark edge. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my website as well as on YouTube. Please spread the word by telling your friends about my weekly videos. I also appreciate your comments and questions. Please wear your full face shield whenever the lathe is running. And I hate to nag, but are you wearing yours well enough?